All right, having to redo this. The stream got shut down for some reason. I'm not sure why that happened. Anyways, guys, I'm going to make this real quick and fast to get to the point that the audit is done. And so let me first address the main points before the stream crashes again, if it does. The whale limit of what we're looking at is going to be probably around 5 million tokens. And so when you stake 5 million tokens, you'll be automatically in the whale pool. You'll get the 1 month reward, the 6 month reward, the 12 month reward. You get an extra 1% of all volume that only goes towards the whale pool. And then you'll be getting 10% of everybody who unstakes out of the 1 month, the 6 month, and the 12 month. 10% of that goes towards the whale pool. So if $10 million worth of control token is unstaked out of that, $1 million of that will be going towards the whale pool. And then you'll also be getting 20% of everything that unstakes out of the whale pool back to the whale pool for the 12-month event. So a ton of value is going towards the control event. That's what the control event's about. It's almost called the equalizer event. It's this event that's about balancing DeFi, really, is what the control event's about. And so the audit, I went over this. Unfortunately, stream got shut down, so I'm not sure how much of it got heard. So I'm having to do this again, but that's okay, because I was like sitting there ranting for a while. But I've been streaming for years, and the stream has never stopped working and not told me that it stopped working. So that's the first time I've ever seen it do that. The main purpose of this audit, you guys can all go look at it and read the full audit on my Twitter page, Crypto Control at Crypto Control 3. Just type in Crypto Control, you should see me pop up. Be able to see the solid proof audit. It was done July 5th. I didn't find out about till yesterday, which is why I told you guys about it yesterday. But yeah, the main purpose of this audit is about making sure there's no vulnerabilities in the contract, especially because we're doing something kind of new, to make sure that it can't be exploited or any of that. So all of the warnings are not critical. There's no critical, and there is no high issues. There's medium issues, and these medium issues are about centralization, which are basically that we or I have control to do things within the contract. We're going to be locking the liquidity. I don't want any control to anything unless it's something that we have to do to prevent bad actors or something like that. All of the wallets are going to be multi-sig to protect the wallets. And so I went over some of these issues. The owner can set early fees to 100%. Mark is going to change that to 40. There's no reason for it to be 100%. The buy and sell fee is not going to be changed. The buy fee is 15%, sell fee is 20. The unstaking fee is the thing that'll change. It'll be 30. We're aiming at 30%, but it might be 35% to 40% for the 12 month. Because if you don't put a difference between the 6 month and the 12 month, then you create a potential opportunity to manipulate and benefit the system, which can hurt the project's growth. That's what everything's about. Everything's safe, and the only problems are centralization. I've already been over this with you guys. I am publicly doxxed. Most of you guys trust me, even if I wasn't, but I'm publicly doxxed. My social security, my full name, my address is publicly doxxed to both Shibtoshi and SquidGrow, because I've been going with Shibtoshi and SquidGrow to NFT NYC and down to Consensus, down in Texas to the biggest crypto events in the United States, publicly being part of those. I'm also publicly doxxed to Vitreous, which is a public, company in the United States. So the people who know me, whenever I told them about Control Token, they're like, dude, I'm buying. And I'm like, I didn't even tell you what it was. They're like, yeah, but I know you're not going to rug. And I'm like, dang, it must be that valuable to have a project is not going to rug, till you don't even care what it's about, as long as you know it's not going to rug. But for me, I'm like, dude, don't buy it until you believe in the idea, because I really I don't care how much you like me. I don't want people to do it just to support me. I don't want you to do this unless you believe in the idea. And so I'm like, hear this idea out and tell me that this doesn't sound like one of the best ideas you've ever heard. So when it comes to the audit, yeah, no critical issues, no high issues. That was the main purpose, was just to make sure that there wasn't some kind of line of code that we missed that would allow for some bad actor to come in and ruin the contract. Other than that, it's just about centralization is some of the warnings, and they're not even like critical warnings. They're just warnings that we can have some, we can change some wallets out here and there. Contract ownership is not renounced. The owner has not renounced the ownership. That means that the owner retains control over the contract's operations, including the ability to execute functions that may impact the contract's uses or stakeholders can lead to several potential issues. The owner has significant control over contract's operations. Yeah, you need that. It's not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just saying that's an opportunity for something bad to happen if they did that. And that's just something in DeFi that, as you see, is, you need ability to do certain things, and in doing that, it does create potential vulnerabilities. So yeah, there's the audit. Good thing about the audit being done, this means we can launch, and I want to launch as quickly as possible. I would love to launch not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, which would give us about 2 weeks. I just have to finish the web dev and Mark. It really comes down to Mark and the web devs just plugging in the last bit of data with the website. The website is almost what I dreamed it to be. It is, I'm not saying it's like the most best website you've ever seen, but the website is what I had in mind, envisioned. And so with the first web dev, they definitely are a great person and honest person and all that, but they severely underdelivered on what it was I was seeking. And we've already got with what I'm looking at right now, and kind of partly because I've been putting so much effort into trying to make it look like what I wanted it to, and creating the music and the sound effects that I want it to be, and having the slides and the information. We just got to finish some small minor details here and there, and then the website will be done, and I'm aiming for a launch within a week from next Sunday. But really, Mark has to be there for the launch, and they're going to help me do the launch. So Mark kind of has to pick that time. So it might be that Monday or maybe that Friday. I don't know. I really think that Sunday would be a great day to launch because everybody's at home, people aren't busy, and people will be able to do it. So if I could get Mark to do a Sunday, that would be amazing. But we'll see. So yeah, there's the audit. If anybody wants to check out the audit, go to Crypto Control on Twitter. You can read the whole thing and you can look at it for yourself. So you're not going to find any problems with vulnerabilities within the contract from outside actors. You'll just see potential problems for if I was a bad actor. And that's up to you as an individual to decide whether or not you want to trust that or not. Obviously, I'm publicly doxxed, and if you followed me for a long time, you've seen the kind of person I am. But if there's new people looking at Control Token, you have no idea who I am, and you have to decide whether or not you feel like you trust me or not. But there's still a lot of things that we don't have access to, so it's only certain things that we could change. Anyways, I just did this live stream for quite a while. I'm probably going to keep it a little bit short. What's going on, Abraham Ahmed in the chat? You're looking from the website through Trust Wallet. Do I still need to be staked or no? The website right now is the pre-sale. So you're doing the pre-sale. You're going to claim your tokens at launch, and then you will have to stake them in order to start getting all the rewards, right? So the staking site will be attached to the website. You'll just go to the Control Token website. You'll be able to see all the information. You'll be able to see the rewards, use the calculator, and then you'll be able to go right into the staking and plug in your wallet and then click the amount of tokens you want to stake, click the amount of tokens you want to unstake, whatever. That's completely within your control. Last thing I'll say, and I kind of went over a long kind of explanation of this, and I might be doing this on Twitter as well, and I might also start doing this on Twitch, live streaming on different platforms. I could actually technically, I think I could stream to multiples at once, but I'm going to do it separately for now. That the main purpose of Control Token is that we're doing something that hasn't been done before. We are selling for you, right? Only the sellers win in a project. And so it's usually only the people at the top who sell who win. And so through the use of the tax, in order to convert that buy tax into a stablecoin, it has to sell. 13% of all volume or 15% of all volume is being sold down as buy volume happens. And we've seen higher taxes do sell volume, and it doesn't stop the project from growing. But what that means is that when you look at Control Token's price, you'll know that 31% of all volume, sell volume, is going towards future preserved permanent stable coin value. And so all we're really doing is we're selling through the volume, the project, over a long period of time, and we're giving those rewards to the people who deserve it the most, the people who keep the project alive. And we're not just giving it to the people who deserve it the most, but we're creating an incentive that counters the negative effects of the liquidity pool. Liquidity pool is death by design. It's failure by design, because the liquidity pool says, and this is what I was saying last time, is the liquidity pool is basically saying, like, rug me harder, right? It's like saying whoever pulls out the most value out of the liquidity pool, they are going to get they win. And if you don't pull the value out, you lose. That's the game of the liquidity pool. Once you understand that, you can see why building a project on that makes it very, very difficult to do well, unless you happen to get a bunch of hype where you have a bunch of whales holding who are just scared of missing out on how much the price is going to go up. There's only projects that actually end up doing well. Everything else doesn't do that well, because as soon as those whales decide to sell, whether it be a little bit of a pump or a massive pump, the project dies, and it's very hard to recover that momentum again because there's no value left in the future. And so what we do at Control Token is, because we're taking this value and because we're preserving it so it can't go down, it's not negatively impacted by sell-offs, and it's actually positively impacted by sell-offs through the tax. That's the greatest part, is the sell tax. When people see buy and sell tax, I think they think, oh, everyone's paying a buy and sell tax. And it's like, no, you don't understand. Everyone's paying the buy tax, but only the sellers are paying the sell tax. And so we're taking from the people who usually destroy the project, and we're taking that value and we're shifting it into the future. And when you leave the project, if you all people's rewards are at the 6 month and the 12 month. The monthly rewards is just kind of something to get you by, but your real rewards are in the 6 month. It's 4% of all volume that built up over 6 months. That's a lot. And then the 12 month is 6 to 11% of all volume that built up over a year stored up for those rewards. So most everyone's rewards are in the 6 month and the 12 month. And so anybody who leaves before that time is forfeiting all of that value that they would have gotten to everybody else. And so this is a way to counter the reason why projects fail is the liquidity pool. We have a message that no one else has, and it's the solution to DeFi. Control Token really is a solution to DeFi, because the problem with DeFi is that if you're building projects, narratives, companies, stories on top of a liquidity pool, that people can be united in the growth of the liquidity pool. They can be united in the price, but they're divided when it comes to selling. Everybody wants the price to go up, but when it comes to selling, you have to sell on a bunch of people, and you have to sell before everybody else does. So, and the liquidity pool says, I will reward you if you destroy the price, and if you don't destroy the price, I will punish you. If you destroy the price, I'll give you all the value, and if you don't, I won't give you any. And so how can you build something that's going to live or last a long time when the price is the main reason that everybody believes in the project, and the liquidity pool is saying whoever destroys me first wins? It's not going to work. You need value in the future. Through the use of a tax, you can pull value that would go into the liquidity pool and value that would be taken out of the liquidity pool, preserve it by detaching it from the liquidity pool. You'd preserve it by converting it to a stable coin. Now you've detached it from the liquidity pool, and then you give it out to the stakers in the future. All of these things greatly increase the future of the project, and it preserves the future of the project. If everybody's seeking value, and that value can be drained through the holders, the people at the top, then what happens when you preserve that value and you give it out in the future and it can't go down? You create a permanent sentiment, real value in the future that cannot go down. And that's a huge thing to have something like that. We have a message nobody else has. We have an understanding that nobody else has. And that's why I do think Control Token is the solution to almost all of DeFi. Almost all of DeFi is rugs, pump and dumps, scams, narratives that only benefit the people at the top, promises of things that might end up causing the price to go up, that might give you a chance to maybe take profits, while we have the control event that is a guaranteed 13% of all volume, buy volume, 18% of all sell volume is being converted into stablecoin and built up over an entire year to the control event. And there's a bunch of other things feeding this control event. It's real value. It's not potential value. And so Control Token really sets itself apart. And that was one of the things that I was saying earlier, is I would not have done this if it's putting my reputation on the line. It's stressful. You're gonna have to deal with the worst parts of the internet, basically, by putting yourself out there. And I have been since I've been covering SafeMoon. I developed people that hate me for life just because I didn't tell them SafeMoon was going to, even though they can look and see that I was right, they still hate me because I told them the truth about SafeMoon. They still want to see me fail, and they still hate me for telling them the truth because they wanted their dreams to come true, and I tried to warn them about it. But I just felt like I have something way too good. I have way too good of an idea to not do it. And I kind of the journey that I went through from covering SafeMoon to covering Evergrow to paying attention to why do projects not fail, why do projects not succeed, and why do they fail, and to just kind of having the type of thinking that I have, which is I really like to get to the source of things. That's my type of thinking, is what is the source? Whether I'm discussing, psychology, politics, anything, I'm trying to get to the why. And I feel like when you do that, you get to the answer and you can better understand the problem. And so when I did that you could clearly see whales are the problem, right? Whales are the problem. They don't allow projects to grow, and they have too much control over the project. So Control Token is about taking control away from the bad actors and away from the whales, and giving it back to the community in a way that allows the project to grow. And we have a bunch of ways that we can do that at Control Token. The idea is amazing. So when I go to the comments, real quickly, what's up, Doug Becker, Abraham Ahmed? Can you show us a video that how we could stake the stablecoin? Oh yeah, I'll make it very clear. It'll be really easy on how to stake, but I'll make a video on it. 5 watching, LOL. Yeah, I did a stream earlier and we had more, but the stream cut out. I'm not sure why it cut out, but we had a little bit more. So excited for the launch. Control Token Wizard. What's up, man? Yeah, I am too, because it's not the amount of followers that I have that makes Control Token important. It's not my influence. It's not anything other than the idea is a good idea that benefits the people that get into the project. We have something unlike I've seen in the rest of DeFi. If you look at what Control Token is, and I'm a little frustrated because I just explained it so clearly in that last stream that got cut out, and now I'm having to do it again, and there's so many aspects to it. But the whale pool is one of the most important things. If you're a whale, which the whale pool is looking at about 5 million tokens. What's up, Captain Futurist Media? How's it going, bro? The whale pool, what you're going to need is probably about 5 million tokens, and I'm going to go work with Mark to find out, hey, about what is that going to look like in BNB, so people can get that whale pool now if they want to. If you want to get the 5 million tokens, I'm going to try to figure out what about that value is going to cost, because right now in the pre-sale, the price doesn't move. The price is the same. Once we launch, the price will move, and if the price goes up, obviously it's going to be harder to get into the whale pool unless a dump happens and you have an opportunity to get back into the whale pool. There is so many crazy positive things to Control Token. I can't believe how insane it is, and you don't realize it until you understand it. Not only are we taking, so if we compare to SafeMoon and Evergrow, which is the highest reward projects we've seen in DeFi, is SafeMoon and Evergrow. SafeMoon did reflections, so it gave everybody the token and it gave it to every wallet, and everybody who was getting reflections, it came out to 2.5%, because most of that percentage was going to the burn wallet of reflections of all volume that was going towards every holder. And then everybody was being given the token. So once the whales sold, and the whales were getting the most reflections, once they sold, they devalued everybody's rewards by 90%. So not only were they getting the most immediately, but they were also able to, it gave them even more power and control over the future of the project. And they were able to devalue not just your bag, but your rewards as well. All the reflections that you got, they devalued your bag and your rewards at the same time. That's what SafeMoon was, and it took me a long time to realize. I did start to realize, the whales are getting the most, and they won't allow the price to go up, and this kind of sucks for us. We kind of need them out of the way to be where they're at to profit. That's why I have videos explaining why reflections is a terrible idea. Any projects that's doing reflections is basically amplifying the reason of why projects don't succeed, which it's making the whale stronger. When you do reflections, you make the whale stronger. And so by converting it to a stable coin, you immediately preserve value and you immediately create winners out of everybody who's getting the stable coin. Because in a traditional project, you do not make any value unless you sell. Well, in this project, the contract is selling for you, and then it's preserving it into stablecoin. So even if the price goes way down, the stablecoin, the value has been preserved, and those are the rewards that go to people. Now, instead of doing it to every single holder, SafeMoon 2.5% going to every single holder. Well, Control Token has, on the buys, we have 13%. That's more than 6 times what SafeMoon's rewards were, but we're preserving it in stablecoin. We're not giving it out in the token that can be devalued. And the best part about it is we're only giving it to stakers, which means everybody who doesn't stake, if you're not staking, you're forfeiting your rewards to the people that are staking. That increases the rewards. Instead of giving it out to every single wallet, we're only giving it to stakers. Then we delay it. By delaying it, everyone who leaves the project, all these whales who sold, instead of them getting a ton of reflections or a ton of stablecoin rewards and then selling and then winning the most out of the project, if they sell before the 6-month or the 12-month rewards, they forfeit a ton of value. Then they pay a heavy fee into that value. And so what that means is that we shift a ton of value from the people who usually destroy the project to the people who keep it alive. And we do it in a way that not just shifts that value, but it incentivizes the growth of the project. And what does that mean? It means that because the rewards are permanent and they cannot go down, those rewards building up in the monthly, the 6-month, and the 12-month, they can't go down. The value of it can't go down. It's going to be pegged to the dollar. The amount of those rewards goes up with buys and sells. So as buys happen or sells happen, it permanently moves the future stablecoin rewards up permanently until they're distributed. That's preserving the life of the project in the future and giving us something real to look forward to and to work towards. Whereas with a taxless project, when a sell-off happens, there is no value in the future. In fact, you just missed it. All the value was in the liquidity pool. You didn't sell. You missed your opportunity. You got rugged. You got dumped on. You got deceived. You were exit liquidity. Most projects are exit liquidity for the people at the top or the bad actors. So you remove those bad actors and you create a structure that benefits more than just the people at the top. If you do stablecoin rewards, you benefit more than just the people at the top, which is what Evergrow did. Evergrow created tons of winners besides just the people at the top who sold. Evergrow succeeded, was a massive success, and they're trying to do it again. I already consider Evergrow a massive success because of what they did in the beginning, and obviously I led a ton of people into that project. Evergrow's completely changed their tokenomics. They're on a completely different strategy now, one that's I think is better. It's based on utility, it's based on staking, and it's based on rewarding them with a wallet that aims to be better than Trust Wallet and really any other wallet, and I hope they succeed. But from its origin of what Evergrow was, we take that idea, we increase the rewards, and we delay them. And what that means is that we have real value to look forward to. Even if the price goes down, even if volume goes down, you have real rewards that are in the future that you can work towards, and allows us to be united in the growth of the project. The implications of this are insane, but there's another level to this, and I could talk about that for a long time. There's another level to this that I thought of years ago when I was thinking of this idea, which is like, it's really the whales. It's really the whales who we're trying to get to because they're the problem. They're not evil. They just control the project, and the liquidity pool incentivizes them to destroy it. And so how do we help the whales keep the project alive? You can't just ask them to. You can't just be like, please don't sell the project. Well, in this project, when you sell, there is no negative in this project that doesn't have a positive with it. When people sell, they're paying a fee into the rewards and they're forfeiting the rewards. When people stake, because people can come in and stake and get part of those rewards, and now you're getting less, right? Especially if a large person comes in and stakes, now you're going to get less. Well, how do they do that? Well, in order to stake, you got to buy the token. In order to buy the token, you have to raise the price. So if your rewards are going down, the price is going up because people are buying those tokens to stake them. If the price is going down, the rewards are going up. Or if the price is going up, the rewards are going up. You have these two things that are fueling each other, these two systems that are fueling each other, the permanent future stablecoin rewards and the liquidity pool. And this has created a structure where they both incentivize the growth of each other, and it allows for the community to actually be united in something. The community can't be united in the liquidity pool. We can be united in its growth, but we're divided when it comes to selling. But we can be united in the control event. Those rewards are going to the stakers. They only go up with buy or sell volume, and it's guaranteed value that we can work towards. Whereas with a typical project, it's potential value that usually has narratives or ideas that only benefit the people at the top, and it doesn't. That's failure by design. Starting. Good question. I assume the launch price will slightly change depending on the amount raised, possibly. Yeah, the launch price probably will slightly change, but I'm going to talk to Mark to try to say, hey, people want to be in the whale pool and they want to be able to do it in the pre-sale. So whatever, I need to figure out about what 5 million tokens cost from Mark so that I can communicate that to you guys so that we can be in the whale pool. I want to be in the whale pool as well. Hopefully you're already in it, but Sounds good, Captain Future. Know the starting market cap to know exactly how many times it's wanting to get right now, or does it decide at launch? Yeah, it's not completely decided yet. And so I have so much I could say about control token, but the whale pool is one of the key factors to narrowing in on who are the people who destroy the project. Who has control over a project? Is it the team? Is it the community? Or is it the people at the top? It's clearly a certain set of holders, unless there's bad actors or whatever. Outside of bad actors, it's the holders at the top. They control the price, and the price controls the sentiment and the life of the project. It's not the team. It's not even the community who has the control of the project. It really is those holders in a traditional taxless project. In Control Token, a lot of that control or power is taken back from them and given back to the community and to the holders. But with a whale pool, we narrow in on the whales. And so my thinking of this was, there's a couple ways for me to think about this, but it was like, what if we were all actually working together to grow a project as much as we could? What if every holder thought that way of like, let's grow this as much as possible? What would that look like when they were communicating to each other? And then I specifically narrowed in on the whales. Like if the whales are communicating with each other and they want a project to grow, but say one of them wants to take profits and they go, I want to take some profits, but I'm going to share some of those profits with you guys. That way, you're getting something when I leave. Well, this is what the whale pool does. Is I knew this idea, but I didn't want to increase the tax. I didn't want to pull away from the tax. And so I had this way to have this extra way for whales to enter, which means that like if we're all whales, we can enter the whale pool. And we know that if anybody else in this whale pool leaves, we, on top of them forfeiting all their rewards to us and paying a tax to us, if you leave the whale pool, 20% of whatever you sell goes towards the 12-month rewards for whales only. And so what that means is that as the whales can have a place that they can come to where they're extra rewarded for keeping the project alive, for committing to the year rewards. They get the monthly, the 6-month, the 12-month. They get 10% of everything that's unstaked out of the 1 month, 6 month, and 12 month goes towards the whales. They get an extra 1% of all volume for themselves that goes towards the 3 months. And then they get 20% of anything that's unstaked out of the whale pool that goes towards them, I use this example. Say $20 million is unstaked out of the whale pool. And they go to sell. So they unstake 20 million, they pay the unstaking fee, they pay the sell fee, and then they sell. And that hurts the price. Well, they just forfeited all their rewards to you. They paid a tax into those rewards. On top of that, you're going to get the extra rewards, the 1% that they don't get, because they forfeited that to you as well. On top of that, you're also going to get a fifth of what the unstaking fee. So if 20 million leaves, that means that $4 million would be going towards the whales that are left in the staking pool at the control event. And so we're shifting a ton of value to the control event. It's like this equalizer event. It's like this stabilizing event that it addresses the problem with all of DeFi. It balances DeFi. And it does it in a way that incentivizes growth. It's not just about balancing wealth distribution to more than just the sellers. That's a massive part of it. Like, why should only these people win while everybody loses? You can easily create a tax system where you preserve value and give it out to people to reward more people than just the people that destroy the project. But if you do it in a delayed sense, you take even more away from the people who leave the project. If they leave. If they don't, then the project's going to grow a lot more, because the more holding, the more growth we have, the more exponential growth we're going to have. That's the entire point of this project, is to be like, how high can we grow? That's going to be the number one focus at the beginning of the project, is how high can we as a community grow? Yes, we've got those rewards. We've got the 6 month. We've got the 12 month. Those are exciting events to look forward to, that are real events that have real value, not events that might have potential value, that might cause people to buy, that might give you a chance to take profits, which is what you're looking forward to in 99% of DeFi projects. You have these events that you hope happen, whether it be partnerships, utilities, the SEC, something that causes people to buy, that gives you the chance to maybe take profits. We have something that is guaranteed value being distributed to the stakers in the future. It's a real event that has real value, that also carries the potential for potential value to look forward to. Pre-sale is all the way until launch. Yep, movement user, that's right. Contact address, there is no contact address. It's just controltoken.net. I've got 3 videos on there you can go to see that. And I'm probably going to be doing some heavy marketing these last 2 weeks to really get people, because it's like, if you don't understand it, then you might not see it. But I think once you see it, everybody's going to be like, oh, this is a genius idea. This is the best idea. One of the best ideas I've ever heard. In terms of understanding the negative incentives of a liquidity pool, in terms of understanding what actually causes a project to work. It's a realistic approach to what's going on. The goal is not to deceive people into a narrative that only benefits the people at the top. And I think that with most projects, you kind of have to do that a little bit. You kind of have to deceive people into this is the next big thing, and then they take profits and everybody else is kind of screwed. Sometimes it is the next big thing, and those people do, win. But Control Token, by doing this, everybody knows that everybody leaving is forfeiting their rewards and paying into those rewards. They know those rewards can only go up, and they know that because they're delayed, that there's a long period of time for those rewards to go up. And it creates this ability to feel safe and secure in the future of the project, which you just don't have that with any other project. Any other project you're holding, if you're holding 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, there's the chance that overnight or while you're eating a meal or taking a dump, that somebody's going to dump that price and your value is going to be gone. And so instead of we have two things happening here. We have the story of the liquidity pool, and we have the story of the future permanent rewards. The value is the lifeblood of the project. It's the belief, it's the sentiment, it's what people are looking for. And by preserving that value, we're preserving the life of the project. And by giving it out in the future, we're preserving it in the future. It's very simple that we're preserving the life and the value of the project into the future, and it can only get bigger as the price goes up or down. It permanently fuels those future rewards, and those future rewards put a demand on the token, because if you can come in and drop a couple $100 and get thousands of dollars worth of rewards, you're gonna do that. The community's gonna do that, and the whales are gonna do that. And there's the potential for the rewards to become even bigger than the value that's in the liquidity pool, because the liquidity pool does have the potential to drop in value a lot if a big sell-off happens. But with a structure like this, is it more likely that people will sell or that people will hold? Well, that's what we're going to find out, because the sell-offs actually become, and that was one of the last things that I focused on with Control Token, is I want to make something that grows. Why don't projects grow? Because whale dominance, because they're incentivized to sell. How do we balance that? Through a tax, through preserving value in the future, and through having them actually forfeit real value when they sell on a project that they can be confident on. And then I also wanted to distribute wealth to people who other than the people who sell and destroy a project. Like, that seems like total bullcrap to me. You're telling me that people who are responsible for destroying the project are the only ones rewarded? That's way too much. Why would it be that way? That's crazy. Why did these small group of people have all the power? I'm not saying it's their fault. It's designed by how the contract works. If any of us become a whale in a taxless project, you have no reward for holding that project while others sell. You must sell the top before other people do, or you lose. I'm not saying whales are evil. I'm just saying the structure of how wealth is being distributed is one in which destroys the project. It incentivizes the destruction of the project. And I've never heard anybody really talk about that or even try to address that. I think people just keep trying to build projects on top of that. And it's very, very hard to do with that kind of structure, with that much power, that much wealth being given to the top. And so the final component, or one of the final components that I was on, is like, what about the person who gets in really late? Like, what about that person? And so if big sell-offs happen, because these reward events can be so huge, it actually creates real opportunities for people to come in during these big dips and get in and then get a good portion of those rewards. And so you're dealing with the number one problems that I see across all DeFi with one solution, and that one solution solves everything that everybody's looking for. Everybody wants some big, exciting event that gives them value. Control event, how much cooler can it be to have a giant moon, a vault on the moon, where inside the moon is a bunch of stable coin, and there's a countdown on the website to when that moon vault opens? That's exciting. That's cool. That has like an epicness to it that I haven't seen before. I've never seen a moon vault, but we have a moon vault, and that's the control event, is when that moon vault opens. And that's the 12-month rewards, when all this stable coin that built up for an entire year is distributed to all the stakers. And then after that, you still have the potential to sell your bag if you want to, or restake for the next year if you want to go for another year or not. It's up to the holders to decide with their bags what they want to do. So really, really amazing how this one solution solves everything, and just more and more positives keep coming out of it. And I think the reason so many positives come out of this is because there was so many negatives attached to how the liquidity pool works. It works like a pyramid structure. You people at the top win. You need people to get in underneath you to support the people at the top. After that, the project dies. And so by balancing that, by rewarding and incentivizing the future of the project, and not in a small way, not with a small tax, but with a large one, 13%. Like I said, that's 6 times bigger than SafeMoon's. I mean, technically, according to the tax, it's almost 3 times bigger. But because the burn wallet was eating up so many reflections, it is about 6 times bigger than SafeMoon. Evergrow did insane. Evergrow did stablecoin rewards, and it did it to all holders. So the whales got tons of stablecoin reward from all the volume. Then they were able to sell. Everybody else got stablecoin, even if they didn't sell, which is awesome because it's real value that went to everybody. There still had to be losers, but through the use of doing rewards in stablecoin, you preserve value and you create winners where people aren't selling. Evergrow was amazing. It was one of the most successful projects I've ever seen in terms of creating more winners than just the people at the top who sell. But once the sell-offs happened, the volume was gone. Everybody already had their rewards, and the price was gone. So there wasn't any value to look forward to other than the utilities producing something that would cause the price to go on another run. And Evergrow's completely changed its tokenomics and its tax structure to have a new approach to lower tax. I do not believe for Control Token that we want a low tax. The entire point is we're trying to counter the negative incentives of the value that's in the liquidity pool. And by doing it by 13% in the buys and 18% of the sells, that means when you look at the charts, very simply, if I were to tell somebody, go look at that chart, 31%, a third of all those red candles are being as value that's being preserved in the future. And the 6-month and the 12-month rewards. When we hit the 6-month rewards, a large amount of that value is going to be given out. When we hit the 12-month rewards, that's the biggest amount of value that's being given to the people that make it to those rewards. Those rewards are not just, and that's why I say worst case scenario, we create a bunch of winners besides the people that sell. And that's if no volume happens all the way into those rewards after a sell-off. I think it's likely that a community and the whales will be more bullish on a project like this where they know there's real value in the future to buy the dip, to buy more, and to hold, which allows for a project to grow, which allows for the hype to grow. The effect that this can have on the hype, on the belief, on the excitement, on something real to look forward to. I've never seen anything like this, on what this could do. And the entire goal is going to be to try to help people to look at this realistically, to not have this delusional, we're going to have a meeting with Elon Musk and we're taking over this country and don't question this at all, or you're evil. We're not doing that. I'm not going to set that standard, and I'm going to be very quick to correct anybody in the community, and I hope you guys will be too if you're part of this community, who thinks like that. That is not helpful. If we're building a rocket ship to go to the moon and we don't allow any kind of negative speculation or, hey, I think this might blow up halfway there if we don't plug this hole, or we should loosen these bolts, or, hey, I think this guy is a loose cannon and maybe he shouldn't be on the ship. You know, if we don't look for problems that can actually stop spaceships from making it to the moon physically, then we're setting ourselves up for failure. And to create a community of people who think that way created one of the biggest losses, the biggest exit liquidity communities ever created when it came to certain, you know who I'm talking about, of being duped, because they reinforced what they thought was morally good thinking, which is only positive thinking would cause the project to succeed. It doesn't work that way. We've got to be realistic. We have to deal with the negatives. We can't brush them under the carpet. We can't ignore them. We have to address them in a realistic way. And I think if you create a community where we actually think that way and we all reinforce each other to be realistic, we can all realistically work towards the future growth of the project. We don't want to benefit the people at the top by deceiving the people at the bottom. We want to create a situation where we benefit everybody and we create a realistic perspective for everybody. You're still going to have the game of the liquidity pool. You can still hit 100x. You put in 1,000, you know, around 1,000, you pay that tax. It goes, you do 100x, 100,000, you sell, you pay the 20,000. If you're not staking, you pay the 20,000, you forfeit all your rewards in the future, and you forfeit the potential of the price to go up to take more profits, and you forfeit the potential of all those rewards going up to get even more rewards. But you get your 80K. Cool, you got your 80K, you're happy, and you paid into the future of the project to help keep it alive through the tax and through forfeiting all your rewards that could only go up, and by creating a buying opportunity to get those rewards. And so we still have the fun, the excitement of the liquidity pool, but we have this guaranteed, secure excitement of the control event, which is something that can be bigger than the value in the liquidity pool. If you have sideways action, the permanent value, sideways action in the liquidity pool means the price is staying within a certain price range, and it's going up and down within that price range. The value is staying around the same. But if that price is going up and down, the permanent value is only going up. It goes up with buys and up with sells. And so that permanent value can become more and more and more and more, and then it can start to incentivize the growth of the price. It's crazy how these things fuel each other, how they affect each other. And I have stuff planned that I haven't talked about that I will be talking about after we launch. And if you agree, I wasn't able to explain some of these things as clearly as I was in the last stream before it died. But if you agree with what I'm saying, if you're like, yeah, this makes sense, obviously the bad actors are ruining projects. Obviously the liquidity pool is giving all the power and rewards to the people at the top and in telling them and incentivizing them to destroy the project. And by balancing that, we can create this structure where people can actually be confident in the future real value of the project, even when sell-offs happen. If all this makes sense to you, then you will like what I have coming. We're going to have probably 3 phases at this time right now. This could change. About 3 phases of kind of missions that I have for us as a community to work on. And they're going to be exciting. They're going to be fun. They're going to be opportunities. And it's going to be things that we can participate in as a community that helps the project grow. And so I have other things matched, and they're kind of the perfect thing for Control Token. Control Token is this amazing thing by design as far as trying to figure out how long should a project last? How long should you delay those rewards? How high should the tax be? That's something you can play with a lot. You could increase the tax, you could lower it. You could decrease the amount of times before the reward events happen. You could increase them. A year is a long time. Some people go into projects and they think, oh, this is a 5-year hold. This project's guaranteed. Everybody coming in, they're thinking 1 year to the control event, and only 6 months to the 6-month event. And this is depending on when you get in. You could be getting on months before the 6-month event and think, this is awesome. I've only got to get to the 6-month event, and we're only about 6 months away from the control event. I could just get in now and stake, get those rewards, and also get these rewards, and then I could look at if I want to sell or not afterwards. So there's the Control Token in itself, by design, everything that it has is super amazing, super balancing. There's a pro next to every con. When a sell-off happens in a traditional project, it's like, damn, that sucks. There's nothing positive about that. Buy the dip, guys, buy the dip. Everybody gets scared. With this project, you're like, that guy just forfeited his rewards, and he just paid into those rewards. This is an actual real buying opportunity for those rewards and for the potential of the price to go up. So yeah, I could rant about Control Token for a long time because of how amazing it is. I don't think anybody has done something like Control Token. I think the number one desire in crypto is a project that doesn't rug, that doesn't only benefit the people at the top, that last for longer than a couple weeks. And I think Control Token is like the answer to DeFi. I think it is the solution to DeFi right now. I think there is a massive audience for this project. And I think that if we work together as a community to grow this project, that message that I have, which is, it's just realistic. There's no like, oh guys, we're going to send Elon Musk a letter and then a bunch of people are going to buy and we're all going to get rich. It's not stupid like that. It's real. I'm dealing with the heart of the issues of why projects fail, why projects grow, something exciting to look forward to. And I'm demonstrating it in multiple ways to display the reality of what it is that I'm talking about. As our project grows, I think we have a message that stands out from the rest of DeFi, and I think people are going to resonate with it. I think it's going to become attacked by the bad actors of the space. I think they're going to feel threatened by this. They're going to feel insecure by a project like this, and they're going to naturally want to attack it, and that's something that you just got to be ready for. You know, when you do something kind of new, and I'm not trying to say that I'm doing something new and revolutionary, although I kind of do feel like it is, you get a lot of resistance, whether it be, you know, the light bulb or whether it be, Elvis with his new style of music. It's always resisted by the people in that space, especially the people who have control in that space of like, no, we're selling all the candles, dude. You can't be coming in with this light bulb. That's stupid. And then they feel threatened, and so they attack it. And so I think that the bad actors and everybody who probably has a project built on a liquidity pool who doesn't have a serious utility or serious funding or something serious going on for their project are going to feel threatened by a project like this one. But we have a strategy for that as well. We have something else that we could really implement, which was brought to the attention by one of the holders of Control Token, which is that we could allow people to use our design, and it could be a way to benefit the community. Be like, hey, people know that if you use Control Token, you'll have this. You could build a meme, you could build a utility token on this. You could build a meme token on this. And by the way, we have the opportunity to throw, and I've said this, if a good utility comes, we can put that in and add that to the Control Token. We have that profit from the utility fee, the control event. We could have that profit fee, the monthly, the 6-month, and the 12-month. Any opportunity that we have for marketing, if we build a massive audience and people are willing to pay tons of money to be promoted or talked about on a space, if on our AMAs we have projects come up and we give them a couple minutes to explain their project, let the community decide for themselves, they pay us 10 grand, 10 grand goes towards the monthly rewards. The more the community shows up, the more value we have in our community, and the more that we can charge other communities that are seeking seeking attention from potential holders, investors or whatever, to be a part of that. SafeMoon was I always give this example. SafeMoon was charging $200,000, $50,000 for the swap partners. None of that went back to the holders. And so SafeMoon easily could have put millions of dollars into stablecoin rewards, into staking, and actually helped the price and actually given back to the community in a meaningful way that could have allowed for the price to go up. They just never did that because they weren't thinking about the community. They were thinking about themselves. Most of them. There might be some people that were, but John wasn't thinking about the community. And so as these opportunities come along, they're going to be used to fuel the monthly rewards, the 6-month rewards, and the 12-month rewards. And we have the ability and capacity, if we come across a good utility, to add that to the control event. But even if I did that, I wouldn't want people's hope to be in a utility. I don't really like that for most projects. Very few projects actually have real potential of their utility becoming something widely used in the space that produces a ton of value that is going to impact the charts. There's very few projects. I would put Vitreous and SquidGrow on those lists. They actually have that potential with Silent Swap and with what Vitreous is doing with their AI blockchain technology for compliance and all of that. Those actually have realistic potentials to be something that is widely used, that produces this mass profit that does go back to the holders in a meaningful way. Most projects just don't have that, but they're promising it because it seems more promising to be like, oh yeah, utility. No, most utilities aren't going to work. And if they do, they're not going to produce any profit. And if they do, it's not going to be enough to meaningfully change the charts. It's just more convincing idea to buy into. The power is in people buying into the liquidity pool, which is them believing an idea. By utilizing the real power of why a project grows, by taxing that, we're able to shift away value from the thing that really grows a project into the future and preserve the life of the project. That's what Control Token does. Awesome, Abraham. Awesome to hear. The only other way to do it without having whales kill it off is microphase like we have been doing. But the reason I advise against is you need those holders aware as long as you don't earn your best. What you're doing is like having whales earn as liquidity providers, which is a great incentive. So this project should be very successful in my opinion. Glad to be on. Awesome. Great to have you, Captain. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like locking periods and stuff like that. I'm not sure if that's what exactly you're, you only get certain amounts or there's a certain time frame before you sell. People have tried to address this problem. I just don't think anyone's really done it meaningfully or successfully like we might be able to do. So I'm probably going to do another live on Twitter. If you guys want to hear me rant about Control Token, you can. I'm just trying to reach out to more people with this message, and the more that you guys show up and support and tweet and share. And I know it's going to feel fruitless at the beginning when you get one like or one view or 10 views on Twitter or something. Trust me, I know it'll feel that way. As we grow, as we launch, that adds up. And the more people that we know, we have a massive audience of people who know who I am, that if this project starts to do well, we can start to reach out to them and they'll be more willing to listen and to look at it. From Evergrow and from SafeMoon, a lot of people know who I am. I'm not saying I'm famous, but there is probably over 100,000 people who know who I am. My videos are getting 20,000, 40,000 views, 10,000 views a day. There's probably around maybe a little less than 100,000 people who know who I am because of SafeMoon, and there's also a group of people who know who I am because of Evergrow. And the goal isn't to say, hey, let's get them in to buy so that we can use them as exit liquidity. The goal is to say, hey, I think we have this amazing structure where you can be confident in the future growth of the project. And here's I always say this. You can be confident when you tell your friends or your family about this project that, hey, worst case scenario, you stay in there, you stake, you're going to get, if a big sell-off does happen, there's a hedge against the destruction of the project. That worst case scenario, if a big sell-off happens, there's value in the 6-month and the 12-month rewards where you will get those rewards back. That's worst case scenario is best case scenario compared to the rest of DeFi. And so you can feel morally more confident telling other people about something like that than you could in telling them about a traditional crypto where it dumps and then they lose and they go, damn, why'd you tell me about that? If this one dumps, you can be like, hey, you've still got those rewards in the future, and the price could always go on another run and more volume could always happen. But worst case scenario, you get those staking rewards. So that's another thing that the more I think about this, the more positives that come to it. And I'm trying to create a chart that shows the monthly, the 6-month, the 12-month, the whale pool, and then it shows kind of the vision of Control Token clearly displayed in one graph, because we kind of need something like that. The unstaking fees and how the unstaking fees fuel the control event for everybody and the control event for the whales, because there's this extra layer to the control event that's only the whales. And people might be like, why are you pulling value, or why are you giving extra value to the whales? I thought we were trying to pull value away from them. And it's like, because we can't just ask all the whales to not sell so that everybody else can make money. You have to actually reward the whales that don't sell. And we have an amazing structure to do that because 10% of everybody unstaking goes towards the whale pool. Everybody who unstakes, and if you're unstaking to take profits, right? If you unstake, you're trying to take profits. You're going to pay the unstaking fee, and then you're going to pay the sell fee, and then you're going to get the value that you have left. But 10% of everything that's unstaked for an entire year goes towards the whales. You know, who knows what that number could be? It could be small. It could be $1 million. If it was $1 million, that'd be $100,000 going towards the whales that only the whales get to share on top of all the rewards. This is an extra layer of rewards. And then you have the whale pool, whatever leaves the whale pool. If $1 million is sold out of or unstaked out of the whale pool, then that would be an extra $200,000 that's guaranteed towards the whales. And so we have this real value, and it's meaningful and it's impactful because so much volume can happen, but that volume is permanently affecting these rewards. It can make these rewards really meaningful, and that the value of those rewards can put that natural demand on the price, not just for the monthly rewards, the 6-month rewards, and the 12-month rewards, but because we have this whale pool, there is now this demand to have this 5 million tokens, right? If rich people do look at this project and it's doing well, they go, well, I want to be in the whale pool, but I have to drop $500,000 to do that. Well, guess what that's going to do to the charts if something like that happens and they have to drop that. So the whale pool also puts a natural demand on that amount of tokens that we designate, which right now is looking around 5 million tokens. And so, because if people want to get into the whale pool, if they're trying to get those whale rewards, which are heavily incentivized, then it puts this demand not just on the bottom of the token, but on the top of the price as well, where people can be like, I want to be a whale. So I think we have an amazing structure right here. Did you figure hard value to be a whale? Last live stream, you guessed 3 to 10K. Oh, no, I didn't say 3 to 10K. I'm going to talk to Mark about it, to try to figure out about what 5 million tokens cost so that I can tell you guys, so that in the pre-sale, you could try to hit that number if you're wanting to. Because when the pre-sale is a guaranteed price right now, it's easier to hit that. But when we go live, the price could go way up and it could become more and more expensive to become a whale. Maybe it'll go down, it'll be cheaper, but it's likely that I think that it'll go up and become harder to become a whale. All right, guys, I'm probably going to do another space in a little bit. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to go over a lot of this same information on Twitter. And then I thought about trying this on Twitch as well, and seeing, hey, is there a crypto community on Twitch that might be interested in this? Because I think we have an amazing message. We just got to get it out there. And I think people are going to resonate with this once they, especially once it start to see it unfold. You know, the riskiest time to buy something is the most beneficial. And so that's why I tell people, like, if you're looking for that thing that's amazing and you want to buy it at the best time, you need to see something that's amazing before other people have realized it, before it's exploded. We have about $100,000 raised. And if this is that thing, which I think it is, I could be wrong, but I think it is that thing, then this is the most beneficial time to buy. This is the time that if we blow up, people will be like, oh man, I can't believe back then when it used to be, we had that pre-sale going forever and Crypto Control did all those videos and posts talking about it and I just ignored them. How many people ignored me on Evergrow and tell me, damn, I should have listened to you on that? How many people did listen to me on Evergrow and said, dude, I'm so glad, thank you for Evergrow? It's crazy to have that kind of impact on people's lives. Like, I've heard people tell me like, dude, you changed my life when you told me about Evergrow. Like, people made hundreds of thousands of dollars on that. People made tons of money. And it's like, they come to me and they're like, dude, thank you so much for telling me about that. And so I do believe that this is a better structure than Evergrow was in the beginning. I'm not trying to put it at odds with Evergrow. I'm just saying, because I like Sam and Paul and I like the team. I'm not trying to put them on blast. But at the same time, I'm trying to say, as somebody who covers projects, that by design, I do believe this structure is superior to what Evergrow's was. And Evergrow's was amazing, and it was successful, and it rewarded tons of people. The problem was all the whales got their rewards, and then after they sold, there was no value in the future, there was no volume to fuel the value, and there was no value left in liquidity in terms of significant price action that people could look forward to. And so it had this amazing up, and then the down was even amazing because it fueled people with sell volume as whales were leaving. But after that sell-off happened, there was no more volume to produce those rewards. Massively successful project, but what if you delayed those rewards? Would people be as likely to sell? I don't think so. And if they did, they'd be forfeiting a lot of value to the people that are staying behind over a long period of time. Which is why, with a higher tax, I think that something like this can be successful. And the way that we've done it. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to check out the audit, you can go to Crypto Control on Twitter. It's at Crypto Control 3, and you can check that out. If you're trying to buy, go to controltoken.net. And I actually haven't looked at this in a while. There's my stupid face. I've got 3 videos. I've got one of me just breaking it down, like personally. I think that these type of videos are really good. I'm going to continue to do these. It's just me and you. I'm talking to you person to person. I'm not hiding my face. It's very personal. It's very real. I like these. I think people like these. I'm like sitting there. I'm talking to you. You see me. Then I have these highly edited, interesting sound effects, just, showing the, the graphs and showing what it is that I'm talking about, the sellers, the holders. I like doing these videos. It's very fulfilling to make a satisfying video that people enjoy. And to be able to make that about my own project, which is a project I believe in more than any project I've ever seen, because of what it is, it allows for these amazing opportunities to show that type of value. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it because I could talk about this forever. I'm going to rant about it more later. If you guys want to show up on Twitter, I'm gonna do a live on Twitter, and I might turn on my camera as well to show my face, because that might show more transparency. So thanks for showing up, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Can you do more than one pre-sale buy? I did a small amount a few weeks ago. Thank you. Yeah, you can buy as much as you want in the pre-sale. It'll just keep adding to the wallet that you have connected. You swap your SafeMint? I wish, man. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. All right. Thanks for showing up, guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit if you show up to the Twitter one. I'll basically